Last night around 8:45 p.m., our officers responded to a report of 5 to 6 people fighting and breaking windows at a residence in the 100 block of LaBelle Street Southeast. As officers arrived to the area, the caller advised that the suspects had fled in a black Ford Explorer. Officers observed the vehicle fleeing the scene and initiated a traffic stop to further investigate the complaint. Officers made contact with the 5 occupants of the vehicle and explained the reason for the stop. During that investigation, it was determined that a male passenger had a valid warrant for his arrest. The officers eventually reapproached the vehicle and explained to the individual that he had a valid warrant and he was under arrest. When the passenger was advised of the warrant, he became uncooperative and a struggle ensued. The individual was taken from the vehicle and physically resisted the officer, causing both of them to fall on the ground. The officer continued to struggle with the individual, and the other 4 occupants started to exit the vehicle. During the arrest, the individual became uncooperative, and the other occupants in the vehicle attempted to interfere with the arrest and would not follow officers' instructions to stay in the vehicle. The individual resisting arrest and the arresting officer struggled in the roadway as vehicles passed by, creating a very unsafe situation for everyone involved. The individual called for the vehicle occupants to assist him in getting away from the officer. In addition, the officer reports that the individual was grabbing at his face and his duty belt, attempting to access items from his belt. The officer stated that the individual was scratching and squeezing his face, neck, and throat. The individual also bit the officer in the arm, requiring medical treatment. After several minutes of struggling, the individual was eventually placed in handcuffs once additional officers arrived on scene. Eventually, 2 of the vehicle occupants were arrested for outstanding warrants, and 4 were charged with resisting and obstructing a police officer. The initial individual was also charged with resisting and obstructing a police officer causing injury and attempting to disarm a police officer non-firearm. Both the individual that resisted arrest and the arresting officer sustained minor injuries. As with any incident involving use of force during an arrest, it is being reviewed by our internal affairs unit. Dash cam and body-worn camera video will be released when it's available. The initial fight call on vandalism also remains under investigation, and anyone with information is asked to call our police department.
Well, it seems to be a little wrongdoing on both sides. Number one, we have a job in front of us where we do have to educate the community on certain rights that the police do have. They do have the right to ask for your ID. They do have the right to arrest you if there's a valid warrant. And you do have to listen to some of the instructions of the police officers. On the same side, week after week, we're beginning to see physical altercations with the police where there are some things being done by the police that our community don't agree with.